Hello, everyone. Take two. We are here. It is the premiere of season two of A Song of Agapia's Fortune. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. I will be your GM for the evening, your wonderful, wonderful, fabulous GM. And I am here to tell a story with my friends who are all around. I use she, her pronouns, and we're going to go around and let them all introduce themselves. And I'm going to ask each of my players a question. What is one question that you've had over the break that you hope might get answered at some point during season two? Who knows? There's a lot going on. So why don't we start with directly to my right on the overlay with Pope. Hi, Pope. How are you doing? How's life going for you? Welcome back. Oh, apparently you're muted. Hold on a sec. Okay, I fixed it.
Hi.
It was very emotional. We'll fix it. You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
It's the beginning of the season. It had to happen at least once.
Yeah, no, but of course. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope Worldball on Twitter, Pope Worldball on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. It's great to be back with Song of Agapia's Fortune, playing Bandibus to the Grey. Both of us use he, him pronouns. And as for the pressing question that is trippingly on the tongue, will we see that sorceress again?
No idea. I don't know. Directly underneath Pope on the overlay, we have Lynn. Hey, Lynn, how are you? How's life going for you?
Everything's going well. I'm excited to be here. Yeah, I'm Lynn Chive, and I am playing Fiorella Barrelember, Glamour Bard Extraordinaire, and is planning a wedding, she, her. And question is a little more direct. I want to know who among us has that giant price on their head.
Yep, there is that. There is that. Directly next to Lynn on the overlay, we have Chris. Hey, Chris, welcome back. How you doing? How's life going for you?
Hey all, Chris Gary here. Glad to be back and looking forward to pick up where I left off with Javier, the Begarale, and questions that Javi or myself with he, him pronouns would be asking. I'm thinking, um, hmm, what's will we find out who is using the seven-pointed star and do they actually know what it means?
Very good question. It's a very, very good question. And then last but never least, and I'm going to fix your camera because
No, it's perfect perspective.
Are you saying it's not a short
full
joke?
on halfling?
no, it's not a short joke. Hi, PB.
Hello, I'm PB from @PB Plays Inside. I use she, they pronouns, and today I will be playing Tibian Van Tuinen, who is a halfling from Sakal. And they also use she, her, or they use she, her pronouns. And um a question that I have, will will we actually get through any gathering that we're invited to? That's my that's gonna be my question.
Get through? Yes. Get through without violence? No.
I
Only
can't-
time may tell.
I can't answer that question. I mean,
Multiple seasons of previous shows point to a specific answer.
does it though?
Yes.
So, yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. But, hey y'all, welcome back. This is a wonderful story with wonderful friends around the table. Takes place in my homebrew world of Agapia on, excuse me, on the continent of Endios. Currently, our players are in, well, the city of Orpharent, well, close to being the city of Orpharentor, on the outskirts mostly at this point. It is been a week. The Barrel Ember estate is no longer a smoldering ruin and now is just a big old hole with some broken timber. People are attempting to, you know, clean up a bit at this point. Thorn, the Hedgeborn, who also is known as Talon, Quivermane, is arranging a wedding. Well, planning a wedding between himself and our own Fiorella. Yeah. But I believe this wedding was plotted for, well, let's say it, I wouldn't want to put words in your mouth. One would agree that this is not the great romance of the century, or
I
even
mean,
the
we're gonna
decade.
play it that. I mean, we're gonna play it that way, of course. I mean, have to look good, have a nice little story, but we all know the arrangement with this. We're all adults here.
Yes, the arrangement for this is as a distraction, right? Because
Yes.
Lord Iago of Cortel is Duke Iago of Cortel is also helping you with a distraction and plotting an invasion of southern Varum. Where Offerentor is the seat of the duchy, of the southern duchy of Varum. But Cortel is a neighboring independent dukedom. Lord Iago has promised to assist in everything as he plots an invasion of Varum because there's been a lot going on. Really, there's so much going on. Because Lord Iago has, well, confirmed the existence of the heir. Not to the mere empire of Varum, but of the actual empire of the old empire, the unified continent of Arabia. Divine right is still a thing. And he wants to use, this invasion and your wedding as distraction while he has agents attempt to secure the heir. But yours is not the only wedding currently being discussed. There is also the wedding of Crown Prince Alexander of Varoom, the Empire of, the Imperial Crown Prince of Varoom, to the second daughter of Noviger. At least that's been the announcement that your sister Theo brought with her when she returned from the capital to discover her house a little blown up.
Yeah.
So
I don't think any of us really love that house, so you know what, we can start over.
Start over. I mean, yes, there have been much discussions. First, you have to clear the whole land. You have to get rid of any possibility of other incendiary devices that may still be around that didn't go off. But it's been a week. I have a question for you all. As you've been in one of the guest houses on the estate, remaining, little. Well, technically, it's not really even a guest house. It was technically the dower house, but no one's actually used it as that in generations, so you just use it as a guest house.
It might be technically the house now that the actual house is no more.
Yeah, I think it kind of is. Your parents are not here, just your sister.
Good.
So, my question then is, what have you been doing in the last week?
Oh yes, I've been deep in the wedding planning myself, so making sure the grounds are ready, making sure announcements are sent out, and preparing for in-person announcements and invitations.
Okay. So, Theo is planning a wedding. Just for my identification, are we leaning more Princess Di or Mamma Mia?
We're gonna go for, you know what? I think people will be the latter, but I think optics wise, if we are setting up a new deck, it's gonna have to be the formal, fairy tale esque wedding. Yeah.
So, full Princess Di.
Yes. More so.
Nice to know. I guess the question then is, we should go around and see. Javi, what have you been doing in this last week? Well, Theo has been plotting a wedding.
Oh, I've been taking care of a handful of duties as the proclaimed best man, as well as meeting with some of the friends who have come to town.
Yes, there have been a couple that have come to town. Most in particular, who got there the quickest was your very dear friend Carla.
Good.
He is bolstered up at one of the inns in Oferentur. He and his full caravan that came north from, well, east and north from Wallaba are have arrived in like 3 days ago. They're not very long, but has begun. The caravan itself has stayed outside of town, but Carlo is remaining in one of the inns and quite enjoying himself.
Good.
What else have you been doing?
As much research as I can on these curses
Mhm.
that are at play and where they may overlap with the current conundrums that we run into. So we were aware of 14 curses, one of which in particular had to do with the core remains, and the keys were kind of a way to hone in on that, but there were others about, and trying to kind of see if I can pull in more details as to which ones are active and upon whom.
Indeed. That makes sense. Okay, good to know. We'll come back to that. I might ask you for a couple rolls in a minute. Uh, but Tibian, what have you been doing for the last week?
Man, has Tibian been a little bit of a busy bee? Tibian has, of course, recommended um the inn bar keeper from Sakel to Theo, and has been making sure that they've had, as much communication with Sakel and acquirements from the Sakel ships as they need for the wedding itself. And also helping Theo send out any and all invitations that they so desire, including some of my own here and there from people um that maybe wouldn't normally want to come to a wedding out here. I don't want to say in the middle of nowhere, but in a troubled location. Um and trying to like the extra little push of like, come on, it'll be fun. I'll be here. It'll be a party. When have I ever let you down? When have we ever had a bad time? That sort of vibe. And um along with that, um I have sent Han a little bit of an update as to what's happening in the area, especially as a certain, Duke Lord of, you know, Iago is making certain preparations along the border, just like, hey, it's chill, it's fine. Don't worry, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Um and of course also inviting them to the wedding, because how could they not be invited to this sort of soiree?
Oh yeah,
And
they'll be there.
uh-huh, they better be. Otherwise, what a boring how boring would they ever be to not show up to the event of the century? Alexander whom? No, Fiorella. Uh and aside from that, um Tibian has also been spending time uh in the temple of Tamandra.
Mm-hmm.
Um Not necessarily like trying to how would I phrase? Not trying to be like more trying to make any contact with uh the deity, but more in just like trying to just find a resonance with um what Lady Tamandra, or whatever Tamandra kind of stands for, being away from the waves and the sea and such. Just being in the temple brings her a sort of calm that she doesn't really feel when she's outside of Sakal. And it's, the temple here brings her a sort of a calm and comfort that she wasn't really expecting when she first got there. So she has been spending some time there. When she's not running around making preparations, helping out Theo with whatever she may need.
Good to know. Could you just roll me a religion check straight?
Sure. I totally have rolled. There we go. Okay, I
I
did.
mean, you're not in the middle of nowhere. You are. It was the capital of the duchy for a while. Hello,
Was.
Panda. Welcome in. Thank you, Raiders, for coming. We are just getting started for season 2 of Agapia's Fortune, our very own high-level D&D campaign. There's a wedding being planned. So, you've got a 14. Good to know. Thank you. Good little things I needed to know. Right? You know.
You know. Also, I just saw that I don't know when you added the figure estate to the NPC doc. But it was one of those moments where I opened it and I was like, "Oh no, he's hot." Moment. So, if you guys have not in the chat seen the figure of the estate at the very end of the NPC doc, I would highly recommend it.
Yep. Yep. He's the guy who showed up that you decided maybe I don't fight this person because he give me. I feel somehow like that would be a bad thing. And last but certainly never least, Bandibus, our
Mhm.
dear wizard. I must ask. What you been up to for the last week?
Dig in and fortify.
Dig in and fortify.
I have Wall of Stone. It's been cast a lot.
Ooh, yes. We have Wall of...
It is 6 inches thick and 100 feet long, 10 feet high every time I cast it.
Okay, so how many times can you cast it a day?
Well, with the other precautions that I am taking, that is, let's see here, 2, 3, 4 times a day.
4 times a day. So 400 feet of wall every day for a week.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's 280 feet of wall. What are you walling? The town? The estate?
The estate.
Oh, good to know. I mean, that might be slightly easier than that.
I'm not doing the town. I pick your battles. Doing the estate. Just like also that's regularly casted at the estate, and why I'm limited in the number of times I can cast Wall of Stone is guards and wards.
Oh, that's very good.
That is 2,500 square feet of me trapping.
I have a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little question. As Bandibus is going around entrapping the estate, you know, the walls are very obvious. Everyone can see that going up. But as Bandibus is going around and entrapping the estate, what does Theo's sister think of this situation?
I think maybe a lot the amount that's going on that is necessarily in her control is a little annoying. I think all the activity.
Yes. Yes, I could see where that was a problem. This leads to my next question. How many of the guards of the estate have you caught in your wards, Vanderbrith?
Oh no.
Well, that depends on what part of the wards. Now, the dense fog is rather obvious.
Yes.
However, the webs might be less obvious.
I'm going to do a generic roll for these guards, who are very good at what they do, but they are not adventurers, right? They're just bodyguards.
Let's see.
I'm just going to use the general stats. Perception. Here we go. So an 18 and an 8. You've caught a couple of them.
Yes, I also have an alarm mental that'll wake me up when something is caught.
Yes. Well, that's been going off a couple times. No. Good to know.
Also, when something is caught, there is also immediately dancing lights flare in that location.
I'm loving this because you've taken what was a very nice, pleasant country estate and admittedly, you know, slight levels of brigandry in the near air, well, in the area, but not nearby this particular estate because they had guards. You know, rolling hills, orchards, a couple vineyards, and turned it into, you know, a gothic estate out of a, you know, a Bronte novel. All we need
I
is
have to do
Heathcliff
Strahd
stronging the
proud.
moors. I'm here
Building
for
my
it.
resume.
All right, everyone, I'm giving you the opportunity. What's the over-under on Bandibus becoming the ultimate wizard and villain of the piece?
You know what? That might make Federico happier. That seems to be more toward her temperament. Is this slightly foggy gothic estate?
You won't have unwanted visitors.
Or wanted visitors.
If there's
There's
a particular
path.
if there's a particular place within the state that they wish, I would be happy to cast hallowed ground.
Oh, please.
During
Yes.
that week.
You know the entrance to that path? Please.
I love this. So, it has been a week. You've been all doing things around. Malik teleported away on the third or fourth day.
Surprise.
There was a conversation that you heard half of, yelling, shouting, and they finally, fine, I'll go deal with it, and just I'll be back, before they left. You have not heard from Thorn since he left to inform his own family of the coming blessed nuptials. But you also haven't heard of any dead bodies, so... or violence, or... On this
Large
particular
explosions.
morning, it is a little cooler in the morning. Much more so now that there's all these fog banks around and giant spider webs blocking out the sun. It has been a week. Exactly. morning, early dawn, there's a servant comes to you, Javieth, and says, my apologies, but there is a person to see you.
Did they give a name?
No, sir.
Okay.
Of course, sir. And they just walk away. You've gotten to know Frederica's servants. They are very much of the don't ask questions kind of people.
Fair. I will make my way to wherever this person is.
As you come down like the stairs, because again, this is the like what would have been the dower house and is now the guest house, so it's much smaller. There's only like 4 guest rooms, and the master room, right, the master bedroom on the 2nd floor. So a total of 5 bedrooms on the 2nd floor, and then there's a main staircase that kind of comes down into the hallway, and off the main hallway there's an office that Frederica has been holed up in for most of the week. Occasionally interacting with Theo in planning this wedding, but mostly trying to get all of the books and accounting done, because one of the things that did unfortunately become a victim of the destruction of the house was all of the accounts for the business that Frederica. So she's been a little stressed. That kind of is closed off. Next to it, there is an actual library that's been opened for your enjoyment. Across the hall, so like the stairs come to the middle of the hall, and across the hall there's a sitting room, and then a dining room, and then in the back there's a kitchen space, and then below stairs there's a servants, and then above on the attic there's a servants' quarter.
Gotcha.
A modest little house.
I assume that they would be in the sitting room, so I'll head that direction.
You enter the sitting room, and there are 2 figures you recognize immediately. One is Carlo. And the other is actually an elf of distinction. And you recognize Carlo. He's this very dark-skinned elf, very, very, very dark-skinned. Dark eyes, gold tattoos that run along the face. Seated next to him is a also dark-haired, older-looking elf. You see Blackthorn himself.
Oh.
And the third figure you do not recognize. They are young. And for you, an elf, they are very young. Pale skin, red hair, intricately braided, although the red seems to be dyed.
Well, I will greet them all. Friends, so good of you to visit.
And you see Carlo, the minute you come in, will open his arms and very effusively, very showmanly is like, my friend, it is so good to see you. I have been ecstatic. I've been missing you. How long has it been? And he's getting a little... You don't even need a roll for this. He is playing this up quite a bit. You can see a couple servants like moving out of the way. One just as they walk by kind of closes the door behind them. And then there's this moment of like, where he goes in for a full hug if you will allow it.
Yes.
That overwhelming like slight bear hug that's a little bit over accentuated. And then they are going to, he kind of guides you back to the seat, is continuing this exuberant play that he and Carlo, right? Like his particular skill set means that he's choosing this to do this as a you know, he's choosing to play this in such a way that you don't have to even attempt to guess that this is a play.
Gotcha. As soon as like everyone's kind of dispersed, you will Javi will kind of like give the a squeeze on the hug as though to like signal release, and take a seat with them and say, so I expect that you have heard much of the reports that I've sent back, especially to bring with you, Brother Carlo, the distinguished gentleman here, friend Blackthorn.
And Blackthorn will smile at that and kind of leans back. Again, for an elf to be old enough to show signs of age is... Yeah. His perception of time is is just beyond everybody's.
Yeah.
But he's just got a little bit of salt and pepper in his hair, and he kind of leans back and smiles. He's like, well, you did send word of a very interesting thing that I have not experienced in almost... Well, I haven't read about in over 2,000 years and haven't experienced it much longer. So, we came to visit. Also, and he kind of turns to this other elf that you don't know, needs to talk to one of your associates.
Oh. Oh. Are you the apprentice?
He just nods. The young elf nods, doesn't say anything, and just kind of gives that side-eye glance at Blackthorn. This very obviously, and in a way that, again, you don't have to roll because it's really obvious, and sometimes teenagers, even elven teenagers, doesn't seem to, his ability to be subtle is really missing. So you can kind of see that he's very, how to phrase this, that Blackthorn has definitely said something to ensure that this kid is not going to be causing problems in this particular moment.
Gotcha. Well, I'm sure Vanderbilt will be good. Happy to see you.
Could you roll an insight check, please?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
29.
Oh, yes, it went through. Hooray.
Yeah, it did. 29, even with a 23, would have been fine. Oh, I should have just used your passive. Well, because your passive is very high. But with a 29, it is very likely that kind of reacts in such a way that he's hiding. The moment you say that Vanderbilt would be happy to see him, he's like, I don't, maybe not.
Javi will kind of smirk and say, true. I don't know that I've ever seen Vanderbilt truly happy. That's a different...
But...
So, so what brings you to the estate?
And at this, Carlos says, well, the old man wanted to walk the estate and make sure that, perhaps it is. See your location of your encounter for himself.
Mm.
And Blackthorn is like, yes, there is much to be learned about the actual study of where a being such as this would cross the planes of existence. And
I can escort you if you wish.
I would enjoy that. I do enjoy your company.
Then, let's make way, and shall I send word for Bandibus?
He kind of looks over at this younger elf and says, yeah, I think he has something to tell. Instructor.
I will have one of the servants fetch Bandibus for him then. And we can make our way to the site.
Bandibus, where are you to be found when the servant comes looking for you in the morning?
Well, I have also constructed a tower on the property. Because I can.
Yes, we are going full depression on the moors. It's fine.
Better to see when those dancing lights light up. Yes, there's a 4-story tower on the property. Galder's Tower is a wizard's best friend. And so, yes, he is currently in the tower, just, again, with a map going, okay, so where are the weak points? Where's the natural places? Where do I need to prepare Disintegrate to make a deadfall? As this place will be a nightmare to attack.
You're not wrong. So, in that case, the servant would know you're probably still in your tower, and would come out around, and just as Javi, you are leading Blackthorn and Carlo to the location where you met this mysterious figure that, is the very last slide on your NPC doc. Which you had a very interesting altercation with. The servant is escorting this young elf to the tower and knocking very loudly at the door at the same time going, Master Bandibus!
There's a grunt, and then I'm going to cast Featherfall and just, because I can't be bothered with stairs right now.
So you cast Featherfall and fall from the height of the tower.
What? Why are you here?
I'm escorting your guest, monsieur.
No. There was the what, and then sees the red hair.
Well, like, the servant is still confused. Like, I, the GM, knew, but the servant was still confused for a moment.
Not you. This place is not safe.
What do you mean?
Things are happening. You got my message. You should be with your family.
I kind of am.
What's gone wrong?
My grandfather's here.
Why?
He wanted to examine, he wanted to examine some things himself. And he said I needed to apologize.
Apologize for what? What did you do?
It was just a small experiment.
What did you do?
So, flour under pressure doesn't.
Yes. Also dispersed with enough air, it's quite flammable. Combustible, even.
Yep. Very combustible.
What is no longer standing?
It's still standing.
What is now charred?
The roof might be missing.
Of what?
Possibly a tower.
Okay. This is part of the teaching process. This is learning. I'm glad you informed me yourself. There are many mistakes one can make in the process of understanding the finer intricacies of the cosmos nature. This is not a minor one, but it could have been worse. No
Yeah.
one was harmed, correct?
No, just the roof and maybe the floor under the roof.
Those can be repaired. People cannot. Well, you're here. So we might as well do some instruction. So, show me, whilst you have been away, causing things to ignite, uh, what you have learned in my absence.
About that ignition.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a new thing.
I would like to see it.
And he kind of gestures to his left, and then there's a slight shimmer in the air, and you see a small, bright purple, pale, horned, wings, one eye, kind of floating.
This is why Blackthorn brought you to me and told you to apologize.
It was not in any way, shape, or form intentional. I was using the flower as a marker to practice protection circles. Do not waste, actual ingredients to just practice drawing them. That happened.
Course, my apprentice would accidentally summon something.
Yeah.
Do you know its name?
Harvey.
I doubt that's its actual name. You gave it a name.
It answered to Harvey when I asked it its name.
Of course it did.
He said his cousin is a rabbit.
My wrath is reserved for the bigger problems.
Not attempting any summonings.
Please don't.
Just drawing a protection circle, the one you taught me.
With flour
Mm-hmm.
instead of salt.
Yes, because you don't want to waste. I wasn't actually, casting. I was just practicing the motions. Make sure I did it right, so I didn't waste
You practice
components.
with a combustible material. Arcane sickles. Thought this was wise. There is required reading now. Matthias's treatises on materials for magical practice. I want a paper written by hand, legible, sent to me on that tome in 2 months. Meanwhile, excuse me, Harvey,
Yes, boss.
from what plane do you hail?
One south of this one, but north of others. How you doing, boss?
This can go very easy or very difficult, Harvey. There are ways of dismissing you that are far more painful than others. And fortunately for you, I'm in need of information. I'm going to describe a visage of someone from one of the lower planes. You are going to give me his name. Not the true name, but the one we all know him by, because I doubt something like you knows its true name.
Okay, boss. I can do that. I know lots of people.
Yes. This
I
one's
really
quite
know a
handsome.
lot of people.
Dark of hair. Was on the grounds here recently.
You hollowed something.
Yes, but not where he stood.
Okay, well then I got to go there. Because it just smells all citrusy.
Mm.
I do use lemon zest in my Halloween.
There are many forms, but that one definitely leaves a lasting and more divine experience. Harvey, sure, we're going for a walk. As I'm going to walk, like, firmly, purposefully, at speed.
So your small purple flying friend with a tail and one eye, two horns, begins to follow you. We're going to have you guys meet up with Javi and Blackthorn in a moment, but we're going to check back in with Tibian first.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. Where did we find you this morning? As things are happening.
In the mornings, like right after. Well, in the mornings, Tibian always is like doing her workout slash like practice time. It's like that's her me time, you know.
Mhm.
It's swinging,
Recentering and
yeah, swinging the boy around. Maybe like destroying some straw dummies.
yeah. Yeah, the staff are well enough equipped and are very, very good at pretty much getting you anything you need. Well, most anything you need. the destruction of the house has put a small damper on their usual expected ability to provide service to the guests, but they try. So there is a target range they've kind of put together of kind of for you. It took a couple days, but they got it together.
Heck yeah. So yeah, that's what Tibian does in the morning. It's just working out, essentially.
So this small halfling, who I love, is swinging a giant, weighted, rope around, destroying dummies. Could you? Oh no, you don't even need to roll. You see first, Javi and these two other elves that you've never seen before start walking across the estate, the grounds of the estate. You see, and then shortly thereafter, you would see Bandabris, and oh wait, you know that elf who's going with him. You recognize them. That's Yura.
And as soon as I noticed that, I was just like swung at I straight through one of these dummies, and I with the rope, I'm gonna spin around to sort of minimize the motion of the end of the teardrop to not hurt me. And I am gonna spin around with it, let it wrap itself around my waist as I am spinning, and then I'm gonna go off in the direction I see Yura and the rest of them, but mostly Yura. And I'm just gonna. Although excitable, I did just let off a lot of energy. So I won't I won't scream, but I will want to just be like, oh, I wonder why they're here, and why Banderbus is looking even grumpier than usual.
So you're going after the crowd.
Yeah.
And then Theo, just checking in on everybody this morning. How are you doing?
Good. I think Theo has woken up. She has done her daily redoing of the spell Magnificent Mansion. So you know what? We have the full. While there is no house to speak of, there is still the luxuries of having one around. And I think she would like to find her sister. I think first thing in the morning. It's usually the first easiest to get her.
Okay. So you are making your way where?
Probably the makeshift little office that she has set up for herself.
Okay. So yeah, so it'd be at the bottom. You come down the bottom of the stairs. The door is closed at the moment.
I'll knock. Ah, Frederica, are you there?
Yes. What do you
I
need?
have some. Yes, well, that's what I'm come to. Can I come in?
Yes, fine. Come in.
Fine. You know that's not how you're supposed to speak to the Duchess of the Southern Duchy, right? No, it's okay. Just it was worth it for that look alone. But that's something I also wanted to discuss. I figure with all the wedding planning is on its own momentum, I figure out some talk about what has happened with the what's going to go forward with the family and all that.
Well, as of right now, our charming parents are busy living the high life in Saba, planning to attend the wedding and eventual coronation, I believe. I have been left in charge of everything, and also planning your wedding.
Yes, that's what I want. That's partially what I want to speak about. Your parents, and our mutual love for them. But with the power that comes with being
Duchess.
the woman Duchess, yes. Oh, that sounds so nice. That you could be, we could, with the house being gone, with the loss of our ancestral home, that you can start again. Means you get to figure out what you want to do with the new home, and it's well within my power. You can rename the family however you wish. Father's not in charge anymore.
Well, all very positive things to consider. We're not wrong.
Yeah, well, it's the least we could do for dropping this on you and having the poor servants run around as they are. I mean, it shouldn't be very much easier once we have proper caterers and builders come in, but they are doing an admirable job.
So, what do you really need now that you are here?
Yes, I do love the title. The title's great and all that, and I'm pretty sure, Dear Beloved also has the same idea, but this place is going to need someone that actually knows how to run things.
All right. So I'm taking on the duty and in control of all of the, actual business again.
Of course, yes.
All right. I'll add that to my pile as she gestures to the piles of papers that are kind of appear haphazard at a first glance, but then you kind of look and you realize that they're all stacked neatly, and she doesn't even look as she pulls one out and then signs it and shifts it over to another pile, and your sister, she knows everything that's in this room and where exactly it is.
Yes. Excellent. Well, heads up to that, just to give a little warning to the we should be having large shipments of marble and some glass and ice coming in, because as a favor to Brandless, there will be no mirrors, but I can't see why there can't be a last statuary and decorations. So we just got done with the couple seating. I mean, Thor didn't have to be there. I had a perfectly good illusion to approximate him for the main sculpture and everything. So
right. Sculptures, glass, and ice?
yes. To go with the refreshment table, of course. As large as it is.
We're getting ice sent. All right. Well, I'm assuming that you can be on hand to ensure that it stays frozen. Those are within your talents, I believe.
Yes, we have many people to take care of that.
Good.
Sort of things.
All right.
By the way, have you had the chance to sit down and talk with Brandis at all?
Not yet. Why?
Because I think you two would hit it off, I think. All the stewing, all the dreadful paperwork, all that stuff. I think you'd have a lot in common. Maybe find some piece of commonality, which I'm pretty sure you two are quite alike.
I'm sure. Why don't you enjoy the rest of your day?
I will. I hope you do too.
Great. I'm sure. Have fun.
Yes. Also, remember to think of a name for the new family. Do whatever you want.
All right. Don't die in the near future. This whole wedding will be horribly gauche if the bride doesn't show up.
Yes, of course. I also have another booklet and give you the location where if I do die, there's a perfectly good funeral that you have to plan. So there's also that. It's even bigger, so giving you a heads up on that one.
I'm sure it is.
Well, I'm pretty sure you have a lot of stuff to do with all that dreadful paperwork and all. Do what you do. But I have the rest of the wedding to plan, so I'll be seeing you around.
Have a good day, sister.
Yes, well, duty too. Love. Kisses. Bye.
Mm-hmm. And where do you head as you leave your sister's home or office?
I think I think she's gonna go. We'll see what she'll leave, and I think we'll maybe see Tibian run towards the group. Oh, this should be interesting. So I'll head that direction.
Yeah, so you look out the window and happen to see like you kind of look to say goodbye to your sister and you see Tibian, just like the top of Tibian's head running along at the bottom of the windowsill. Like running, and you're like, Tibian hasn't run, well, beyond her morning workout in the entire week that you've been at the Dower House.
You just see like the death trail, like Tibian runs like 80 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm. So, as you are Javi, as you are making your way downtown,
Yes.
walking fast and homebound, you, how to phrase this? Bandibus, are you attempting to be quiet in your angry striding?
No, there is no stealth.
You hear angry striding from coming behind you.
Oh, it looks like apologies were made.
The depths of my disdain continue to be tested. As he takes his hat off, as he gets close to the group. Thank you, my lord. It's good to see you again. So I'm guessing you are here because of the lovely scenic view and our untimely visitor.
Indeed, what I am reason to leave Iraba. It is perhaps the best reason to leave Iraba.
Well, I have brought him and his new associate along to see if we
Friend,
can
boss, we're friends.
Again, there's a raising of the hand and then just a to plumb the depths of this mystery and possibly get a name.
Javi, you now notice that with that voice, there is a 1.5 foot tall, purple, flying, 2 horns, 1 eye, tail creature, kind of floating at the shoulder height of Yura.
Well, aren't you an interesting addition to our little entourage?
I'm Javi. Nice to meet you.
Well, Harvey, I'm Javieth.
The pleasure and an honor, sir.
Shall we? make our way. We're nearly there.
And you just see Blackthorn go, yes, it has been an experience. Wow, that's the wrong accent. It has been an experience. And just, I figure the amount of time you paused to have this, introduction is the amount of time it took Tibian to get, anywhere because, Tibian, the
Yes.
fastest halfling in the world.
Oh.
Yes, we can feel the pressure wave before they arrive.
And this is one of our compatriots, Tibian Van Tunen from Skel, Old Blackthorn, Brother Carlo.
Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you, all of you. And I wink up at Yura. And I do a pat on Vandebrus. Also, I say hello to the little
Yeah.
floating thing.
It comes down to about flies down, shrinks the flight path down to about your eye level and is like, nice to meet you, I'm Javi.
Oh, it is nice to meet you too, curious little creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yura, it's polite to introduce your friends to visitors.
Yeah, you should introduce your friends.
Should I shake your hand or?
Here, and there's a little 3-fingered claw that kind of reaches out from the wings. Little imp. Purple.
I'll give it a little
2 horns, 1 eye. Flying.
Little handshake. It is a pleasure to meet you also, Harvey.
Yeah, I'm gonna help the boss by telling him some stuff.
Oh. Are you now? And I look up to Vandebrus.
There is barely any control right now. Like the mood to call down whatever arcane might to smite that creature out of any existence, to delete Harvey from the cosmic book of names is barely contained.
Okay, then.
Oh man. Have you gone on a walk yet today, Vandebrus? You're looking a little tense.
We are walking.
Ah, so that is a no. Well, what are we up to?
Seeing about our unwanted guest, and if there was anything that can be discerned from where he left.
There's a lot that could be based on serial emanations. And where are they crossed? As Blackthorn begins, kind of subtly turns to Javi and is kind of gives the impression of can you continue leading, because I don't want to hang out with this this thing anymore, and I've been stuck traveling with him with it.
Javi will continue on until they reach the destination.
Yes, right at the edge of the tree line was where you saw them. You can just see the last of the rubble from the house is just within eyesight, 30-40 feet away. And is being cleared. And when you get there, Blackthorn, kind of gestures with a hand, and then the staff is in his hand. And he begins to start casting. Um, everyone here who's a caster knows that he's casting ritually of some sort. And the small imp Harvey is just flying around and occasionally. Hmm. What are you all doing? I figure by this point, Theo will have emerged when you stop. What are the four? What are you doing as Blackthorn is casting and your friend Harvey is sniffing everything?
Oh, who are these mysterious dashing strangers that you're escorting around
Javi
my
will,
lands?
Javi will say, "Oh, Fiorella, Ember, Ember, Barrel Ember. This here is a good friend of mine, Brother Carlo. You will see him around, at least up and through the wedding. And over
Through the
there,
wedding. That's good.
over there, casting is old Blackthorn, who I'm sure you've heard Bandabris mention more than once.
Mhm.
And I believe this is his apprentice, who brought along a friend, Harvey, as he points to the little imp.
Excellent.
Hello. Oh, you're the apprentice.
Well, you do know
Ryan
Yura.
is- Yes. Oh, you're here. Oh, excellent. Oh, it's good to have you here. I'm pretty sure Brandon is happy to have you here as well.
Happy and Bandabris is not a name, or not a combination we get to use very often.
So what is all this? This about?
Oh,
I think she realizes where it is about the thing.
yeah. Trying to determine more about the unwanted guest.
And
Have-
Harvey turns around and is like, starts floating nearby Theo, around Theo. You're pretty.
Well, thank you. You're very sweet. You're to be very interesting. But yes, thank you. And what is so pointed like, and that is this creature's part of it.
The reason my fine apprentice is here is because an accident happened. Harvey is a product of said accident.
And you're keeping it.
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
I can be very helpful, boss.
So can a sharp stick, but I'm not walking with one of those right now.
I mean, I wouldn't. It might be helpful because, you know, you drew the attention of him. He's going to be real pissed.
I hate playing the pronoun game. It's my least favorite game.
Okay, well, you said you didn't want me to use his name.
True name. I would like the name that is commonly used by everyone and everything.
Okay. Lord of Iron?
Dissipator.
Ding, 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 ding! Got it! So, and he kind of floats over next to Javi. He's like, what you doing?
Oh, nothing at the moment, just observing. I see
Okay.
that you confirmed the presence of the Archdevil.
Smells really good. Salty, a little spicy, a little tingly on the back of your tongue. Sulfur is good.
Not my first description for sulfur, but I can see how you came to such words.
Mm.
Well, so now that we know who this is there anything we can do to make sure that he doesn't come back here again? Maybe on the day of the wedding, perhaps? Or starters?
Bad news. We're dealing with an, it's not just a devil, it's an arch devil.
Yes.
Barring some of the most potent magics in existence, barring their entry is a pain.
A pain, but is it doable? Can either of one do it? Maybe he can do it.
I would need 4 years on my own to secure a place of 40 foot by 40 foot that would keep him out.
But is there no more dangerous way that will make it do faster? Let's say in like a week or two.
Sure, I could help.
No.
Okay. And like you can see Blackthorn is there's sparks coming off of him at this point.
Is there anything we can do to make it at least unpleasant if he shows up again?
Oh, that's a good question. Harvey, are there any things that he just detests and will avoid at all costs?
I mean, yeah, but you don't have them.
No, but if we knew what they were, we could try and procure them.
I need a persuasion.
22.
22. 22. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, he kind of looks at you, cocks his head. I mean, you could bring Beelzebub, I guess.
He'll always want a +1, and no one likes the +1 that Beelzebub likes to bring.
I mean, Lilith isn't bad.
She always tries to make things about her, though. Ruins almost every event.
You're not wrong. Hey,
Yeah, we kind of.
pretty lady, maybe you could make Lilith be, chill.
I don't think it's good to have two personalities like that around. It usually doesn't end up going very well.
Okay. I mean, there's always Mephistopheles. They don't like each other at all.
Any non-archdevils?
He really, really doesn't like this weird salad with potatoes and mayonnaise and somebody put like raisins in it. And I don't know why. Like, why would you put raisins in something with mayonnaise?
I don't think that Fio would allow such cuisine.
Mm.
Our wedding, but it is good to know. And he'll just keep looking over at old Blackthorn to see if A, he's completed his ritual, or B, it backfired.
Uh, anyone who wants to can roll an Arcana to see what Blackthorn
Oh,
is doing.
sure, why not? Let's see.
Oh, absolutely. It's my specialty. I
My specialty.
totally know everything about this.
You say that, it's probably not. Okay. I'm not that much better than Tibian.
So Banderas gets an 18. Tibian gets an 8. You can tell that he is casting something. It's magic. Yo.
Ooh,
Theo,
magic.
it's some sort of ritual magic. You're not sure what it is. You definitely see a lot of use of the staff that's in his hand as a drawing on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some glow coming off of him. You're not sure what he's doing. Bandibris. You can tell that at the beginning there was a warded circle that he cast first. And then he began casting inside the warded circle. So he's technically done two. He did the first ritual quickly.
Yes.
And then the second ritual takes a little bit longer, and probably about the time Harvey is proposing to use raisin mayonnaise potato salad as a deterrent for dispatter. You can all see a flash kind of come off of Blackthorn, but in a way it's not overwhelming, it's not overly strong. It's just like almost as if he was if he was a reflective surface and the sun just hit it correctly for a quick second and then flashed off. So, and then it dissipates, and you see Vanderpuss. You can at that point see the protective circle fall, and Blackthorn starts walking towards you all. Looks at Javi, and in Elven, so I believe Vanderpuss would understand. Tibian does not, right? Theo, I know, doesn't.
I'll figure it out. You can go.
Like I don't even remember what you spell. You know, like I remember some people's languages, but I didn't think Tibian had that one. As he kind of turns to Javi and in Elven says, "Well, he didn't actually cross the plane."
More of a projection. Excuse me, a projection?
Or imposing one plane on top of the other, just enough that you could see through it. Weaken the visuals, but... Although there is a tear, and it's not his.
An infernal resonance, or is
Yeah,
it something else?
Well, it's definitely infernal, but not a devil. At least not what I could tell.
Interesting.
Oh, and apparently curses are a big thing in your area. That's an ongoing problem for you.
Yes.
And I think on that, we're going to take the break for the evening. Stretch, bio, do all of those good things, and we'll be back in about 8 minutes to see what happens next, as I'm enjoying every minute of this. Have a good one, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you were refreshed, stretched, did all of the good things. We are ready to dive back into part 2 of our season 2 premiere of A Song of Agapia's Fortune. I am your friendly GM, Prax. I am here to help tell this story, but it is these, my wonderful players, that do all of the hard work. I'm just, putting things in front of them and letting them do the hard work. So, you had a wonderful moment to realize that Dispatter didn't actually cross the barrier. We just kind of like thinned it a little bit. Stayed on his side, did one of those, I stayed on my side of the line. I might be leaning my nose over, but I'm still on my side of the line. I'm on my property. You can't do nothing. I'm here. I might be leaning over your fence, but I'm not on your property. And you have a Harvey who's hanging out with you now. And a small infernal problem that isn't related to a devil. At least according to Blackthorn.
So how bad is it? If we should say something that I am not liking.
So the Archdevil didn't cross over technically, but something else infernal did tear at the barrier between the two worlds.
Oh. And what does that mean exactly?
Javi will kind of like look over at old Blackthorn to kind of like with the look of like fact check me if I'm wrong. Say something probably crossed over.
Yes, was able to do so probably because of the unfortunate amount of curses that you have going on in this town.
She's saying that in comment. Not
Yes.
saying that in. Okay. Oh, curses. That's new? That's what kind of curses? And how many?
Enough? I don't know. More than one.
Ah. More than one. That's comforting. Could be one, could be several hundred.
True.
Oh,
But this isn't completely new information. I mean, we do know about the curse placed upon the Corvermain family, which happened long ago and still technically persists.
Yes,
This
but that's
area,
not here.
and this area has taken the brunt of a lot of bad luck, which, if curses are involved, it means that it's easier to turn around, easier in the diagnostic way.
The thing is, depending on the potency of the curse, it could be a relatively minor magics to help heal, or you're looking at high magic in order to remove something.
Yes, well, I'm glad you're here for that. So
That doesn't necessarily mean you can patch the tear.
yes, the tear. Do we now that we know that it's here? Do we know exactly how long ago? If it was recent or if it's one of those things that, along with the curse, have been here since our families were here.
That's divination magic I do not possess.
Can probably do some work on tracing a curse if it is active, theoretically. I'd need to spend some time. Books. I haven't felt this interested in something in 500 years.
Well, if you would be so inclined to stay, we can certainly set you up and with whatever you need. Combinations, supplies, help, whatever you need.
You have a good supply of
Of what? Oh, sorry.
port, the beverage. Alcoholic.
Yes. Oh, certainly. If not here, we have much here, and we have much incoming for the wedding. So you will
yes,
be well supplied.
my apologies. Congratulations on your nuptials.
Well, thank you. And with the work that you're doing, you'd be certainly doing us a great amount of favor.
Well, I will attempt to begin looking. Harvey at that point kind of floats up next to, like, just not quite perching on your shoulder, Theo, but like right there, and is like, there's gonna be a wedding. Do I get to come? Is there a tuxedo? I want a tuxedo.
She'll look at Brandibus and that's your. I mean, if it's okay with your friends, that's what we do.
Woohoo! Party!
There's already infernal stuff around anyways. I don't know what one more tiny thing's gonna do here.
I'm gonna need a date. And he kind of like snaps his fingers and pops away.
If it becomes too much of a problem, we can just send it back, right? Banish it.
And then
that
you
may
see
not
Yura's
solve
face.
the problem. And look over to Yura.
I try. Grandfather. Keeps.
What did you say to it when it popped into existence?
I screamed.
When it talked to you, when you started talking to it, what did you say? Yura, what has been your recent reading?
barriers and counter spell. Arcane. Blind.
I am guessing at this point, but a number of things could have occurred. One, you are now intrinsically bound to this creature, in which case you need to find out its true name in order for it to be truly banished. Two, you inadvertently, with your scribing in flower in the tower, have entered into a warlock's bargain. And that creature is your patron's gift to you. I'm surprised that would be the case because patrons like to make themselves known, but this is not always the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yura, have you been having strange dreams lately?
What about the top?
I hope, pray to the gods that some transdimensional entity is not assuming the form of a taco to speak with its servants. But
It wasn't like it was talking. It was like it was dancing. There was a top hat.
Wait, you've had that dream too?
Yeah, it was just something I ate.
I mean, it's been many
Okay.
years, but it happens every once in a while.
This is the first I'm hearing about taco dreams, but okay. This could be yet another one of those strange cultural barriers that humanity does not understand.
At this point, Carlo interjects like, "No, this is not a thing."
The last possibility is that in your scribing and the conflagration, that the miscast triggered a contract, one that is pre-extant, that involves this creature. In which case, our best bet's to getting you out of said contract would be consulting with the arch conjurer in Europa. Those are the three things that come to mind immediately without using some of the more potent divination magics, which again, not my area of expertise. My expertise is saying no in so many ways.
Blackthorn would interject at this point and go, "I mean, did attempt to banish it. I don't think it belongs to the hells. I honestly don't know. It doesn't."
Well, it's able to detect and is knowledgeable of the infernal side of the lower planes. It has identified itself as being from one of the lower planes. Now, it can all be lying because unknown entity, until we get something close akin to a true name, there's no way to possibly discern it, as be using innate magics, which are incredibly hard to detect, um, to mask itself. So, until there is also this one other thing. Yura, do you truly want to be rid of Harvey?
Split
Okay.
stairs.
They do that.
Also, farts. Excessively.
That does make it seem more and more akin that this is just a odd imp or a drek. Which, if it's a drek, I almost feel sorry for you. Okay. Here's a quick test to see if you truly are in the possession of something worse than an imp. And in Abyssal, oh, Harvey!
Are you just shouting it?
Yes, in Abyssal.
Okay. Could you roll a Constitution
Certainly.
or a Performance, your choice? It's how loud you are.
That is a strange choice, but we'll go with Constitution today.
Constitution is about how your lung capacity, how loud you are. Performance is about, your training in said lung capacity. 12.
I am not known for my Constitution. That's why people keep suggesting walks.
Well, nope. No answer.
Good news. I don't think it's a drek, because even with the slightest call, they love to show up. They're incessant about showing up. So you just more than likely have something that is truly extraplanar from the lower hells, in which case it's a random awfulness, or the strangest, most flatulent imp in existence. But it means it won't eat your socks and other sundries. Dreks are notorious for that.
At that, Blackthorn would kind of knock Yura with the edge of his staff, like in the shin, and turn to you, Bandibus, and is like, do you mind if I borrow your apprentice a little while as I begin?
Oh, I insist. By all means, please make full usage of him.
Good. And he kind of claps Yura on the back, just a little too hard, so he goes stumbling a couple steps to recover. Like, come along, grandson. You get to carry things. Without magic. And Carlo will look at you, Javi, and say, I'm going to be conducting a couple of my own questioning.
Oh, yes, please. And feel free to invite any of our friends that you feel would enjoy the coming weeks.
Thank you. He kind of winks, and then he'll like turn, and there's a flirtatious little grin on his face as he like leans over to like shake Tibian's hand. You are impressively fast. And he winks at you. My lady Baralember, I look forward to seeing you at your.
Of course. Enjoy whatever hospitality we have to offer here. You're our guest.
and he kind of like smirks and begins to fade backwards into the trees. Um, he's very good at hiding. However, uh, both Bandibris and everybody but Theo would kind of see him in the first couple steps, but afterwards you sight of him. The four of you are left alone.
Well, this day has started out wonderfully, knowing that the area around here where my wedding is going to happen is full of curses and infernal tears that were not of that man that appeared. Good. Good morning.
We also now know that the man in question is in fact the Lord of Iron, Dissipator, Lord of,
Yes.
I believe, the third hell. Second or third?
Second,
Yes.
I believe. But I mean, it is good to know that it's not of his doing, because if it were, it would be a little. Well, we have hope that it's not as problematic and something that we can fix.
It's going to take some time to patch that hole.
Well, as impressive and as filling my ego it is that a Lord of Hell knows my name, it is in fact incredibly worrying and frightening. And
Now have a targeted area to start fortifying around.
mm-hmm. I will also work on fortifying this area here that I would like to keep away from, devils and anything like that.
I do have a feeling that, you may start having to play politics if we're going to fix, as he points to the space. There's a strong history of curses. There's going to be investigations, and as to not just those that may be afflicted, but this cult, for lack of a better term. They may be the ones doing the cursing, possibly summoning things without the knowledge of precisely what they're pulling across.
Yeah, so they're here, and that's at least something we can deal with at the moment. But if we need to do this ourselves, we can, or I can have some amount of others look for it. Well,
How do you and your sister feel about moats?
what could Mo do?
It's a place for them to fall in, and with certain preparations, be violently accosted by some of the world's largest catfish.
I am not going to turn the moat into a font of holy water.
We
I
can do
didn't
that.
think of that, but that would also be interesting.
Or maybe you can bless the catfish as well. I mean, if it keeps everything safe and it keeps any more lower planes business happening, I am all in favor. I'm pretty sure my sister would be as well. This also is to your benefit if things go according to plan.
Well, I'll leave the political machinations and investigations to those better suited for them. In the meantime, I will start pacing out and seeing how far this disturbance goes, seeing if I can't wall it in, to, at least for the time being. Though, again, a lot of things from downstairs can fly.
Do just as an aside, um, do we know anything about the bride to be, um, of Alexander's?
I'm surprised that Ilvigo is willing to marry in to the family. That's I'm almost shocked. But it does mean that any border skirmishes from here on out would be against both sides of that family. So the Union would shore up the border. And just Ashford doesn't strike me as it makes political sense, but I don't know if she necessarily likes this.
I mean, it is fair to say that Alexander is not his father.
He is not his father, but he is of the bloodline.
True. He seems less, shall we say, eager to enter into pacts with demons and devils, though.
Yes, that is one good thing. But as for Astrid's daughter, I have not met her. I have met Astrid twice. Both times the woman has been let's just put it this way. I am glad she never had the mood to conquer. She is strong in the most defined sense of the word. She may not be able to lift a redwood by its roots, but I think the redwood might just fall over out of fear of her. So, no, I'm just surprised at the swiftness of it. I'm concerned.
Yes, I also do not know anything about the daughters. I hardly know their names, to be honest with you. They're spoken of so little.
Yeah. The country itself is insular and is more interested in keeping itself that way. It is a place of old legend and older traditions.
Which could be concerning in situations like these.
Mhm. Yes, the speed in which this came about seems to rival our own,
Yes.
and for possibly even more dire circumstances.
Well, I mean, we knew that he would have a wedding soon and that it would be one of political fare. We just did not know whom he would wed. And this is not whom I expected. At least not from the letters of proposals that had been sent.
It is just something to keep in mind.
Oh, you're
It's
right
still
for
a little
bringing
bit
it
away.
up, Tibian. I was very much distracted by, and then points to where you were left.
Everything in this.
Oh, you're right. This is another wrinkle. Would you
It
happen to
is-
know folks that could get to Ashford? Find out what's going on in that court?
I know a few people. I don't know how much political leverage they may have, but they may know some people. I could I could ask around.
Unfortunately, my go-to is somehow metaphysically inconvenienced. So, anyone who has anybody near Novigo or in Novigo, now's the time to call in those favors.
I will do. When is the? Do we know when the wedding is? We just know.
You don't know about the wedding. You've just heard that it's going to be, maybe. The announcement, the betrothal had been announced publicly.
And you
Okay.
said it's been a week.
Which means there's one more week before the father dies.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly Krause as well.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm going to be teleporting a lot soon, and I don't like it.
Does it make you a little, your stomach a little upset?
In multiple ways.
I've heard about that. Teleportation sickness.
It's the reason why I try not to eat anything dairy before I teleport.
Wise. Very wise.
Should we ask Harvey about the bounty on one of our heads? I look at Theo.
Why would
Oh,
you
yes.
do that?
Because we want to know who it is.
Yeah, but if he doesn't know, it's just more fodder for an imp.
The more ignorant you keep Harvey, the less torment that he can just at whim unleash upon the world. Everything around an imp is a splash zone.
I'm
In weighing the pros and cons, we can just continue being attacked by assassins.
Take the chaos that you two, when you are at your most puckish, would get into, and then give it infernal power and a random timer. That is an imp.
look. I think I look at Theory. Like, oh, that's quite a lot. What is it?
There
But
are
again,
places within the university that are closed forever due to the conjuring of one of those creatures.
But at the same time, I would really, really want to know which one of us has that much attention.
It is true. I mean, it could get in the way of the wedding.
See?
It looks like we
And
have
it's-
multiple rounds of inquiry to deal with. Javier, what do you feel most? What is calling to you in this moment?
Well, I mean, the curses themselves seem to be one of the more persistent and at least known issues that we have in this particular area. So I typically like to take care of what is known and available. The unknown will strike when the unknown strikes.
I'll get to continuing to do my arts and crafts, and if you need me, just let me know.
Will do.
Oh,
Oh,
before you leave, I do have these spots around the our lands that maybe that were in the past kind of signs of ill omen, that sort of thing that I can point to.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly folklore and hearsay, but if there's anything that could expedite the amount of figuring out where the spaces are.
Folklore has a tendency to be based on truth. and when
And
ignored,
that's why.
bite one in the ass.
Yes, and that's why I would like for them to, if they're surveying around the area to see where these infernal / curse points are, maybe these ones would help.
Yeah. I'd be more than happy to see what I can do.
Javier, I hate to ask it, do you happen to know a geomancer?
No, actually, I don't.
Damn. Oh,
But I can consecrate ground and I can remove curses. So,
well, that's a start. Also, finding out whoever is local that is currently suffering a curse, if we can just start nipping those one by one.
indeed.
See also if they have any sort of common thread. This feels like something that was years in the planning. This is not something that a new cult would be able to do just like that. This is older.
The new cult may be reinforcements more than a cause.
I think you're right. Well, time to go sightseeing on the property.
Yeah.
Hopefully not be assaulted by undead.
One can hope. And I think Fia will take out a map and just kind of mark the places on the property. Give us to Abby over here.
Would you do me a favor, please, Theo?
Mhm.
Just, I need a little roll from you, please. We'll use sleight of hand here
Yeah.
as your artistic rendering, right?
Okay. Rendering. So this will be +2. 6.
Okay.
Ugh. Can I use one of the
Yes.
You have 5 luck
Yeah.
from the
yeah,
kindness of chat.
I'll use a luck because that's it's a 2. I think this is I would
Yes,
like
you
to
could
give
probably
a
do better.
legible. I would want a legible map. There we go.
A
23.
23 is much nicer. Well worth the spend. So with a 23, you're able to very accurately draw each of the locations where, well, why does Fio know of these particular locations?
She is not going to say anything to anybody, but these are points that when she would inner child disappear and or reappear at some place around the properties.
Fio,
This would happen off and on, like growing up until for about like 10 years.
Fio,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to make me another roll.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to make me a charisma saving.
Okay. Cool. 26.
Ooh, you succeeded. Beat it by 1. Very impressed.
Oh. Oh no.
But you succeeded. You draw out these maps in these points. And for a moment it seems almost like slightly meditative, slightly trance-like. As you start doing it, you can just thinking about them. You're not even really thinking about it, you're just, and they're done. And there's just this moment of disorientation before you shake it away. It's like, a trick of the light, perhaps. The stress of planning a wedding, meeting all of these interesting people, possibility of a archdevil walking around your
Mm-hmm.
So many things. It's just a trick of the light. Bandibris.
Hmm,
Ooh, you have this map.
yes.
Is anyone else looking at this map?
Well, please do.
She's not particularly being like holding it up, and he's just kind of like,
No, but I mean, it's like you've got it like flat, and so you're drawing these points. The
yeah,
question
yeah.
is anyone like looking over Bandibris's shoulder, or you know, you're not hiding it, right?
Oh,
Mhm,
oh no.
I'm absolutely being nosy. 100%.
I mean, Javi's supposed to use this map to help, so I'm guessing he's looking as well.
Okay, good to know. Um,
Good, good.
can I get all three of you to roll me an Arcana, please?
Absolutely. Say
I
less.
would love it. I would love it.
Nat 20.
Oh, I got a 15.
So we're gonna start at the lowest and work our way to the highest. And in the way we do this, the person who, you know, everything that Tibian knows, everybody else knows. So we'll go from there. So Tibian, the first, you're looking at this and goes, wow, that's a big spiral.
Oh.
Javi with an 18. You know how some of the gardens in the monastery in Yoraba
Mhm.
have those walking labyrinths
Yes.
for meditative purposes? This looks really kind of similar in the sense it's an interconnected spiral.
Interesting.
Vandibris.
If totals matter, it's a 33.
It's a very nice 33. It wasn't gonna be a problem. I was just, you know, you got the nat 20. I'm not horrible. We're not playing the interlock system.
Sorry, I'm getting flashbacks.
Where you need, that might be something else. You can see as you roll with this, you immediately see this pattern of a spiral. Then you can also immediately also see, similar to Javi, a connection to like an interlocking walking meditative path or a labyrinth. You also can see, just as you kind of look at it with your knowledge of magics, and particularly ward magics that you've been using and doing in the last week, it's a doorway. And it's open.
Oh, it's like a spiral.
It's not a spiral, it's a door, and it's been left ajar.
It's not that bad.
No. It is a metaphysical door that has been put open.
Wait. You mean like
Whatever happened in these spots is corresponded to something that has thrown the gate open. To where I don't even know. But it's bad.
Then we close it.
well then whatever it is, whatever you're doing, whatever any of you are doing with this, drop whatever you're doing previously and deal with this. This is top priority now.
I need more context on the histories about these spots.
Say less.
Anything that has to do with the folklore pertaining to these, depending on what it is that made these individual places important.
She looks uncomfortable.
those are clues to the way that we can close the door.
So if I remember correctly, and Deirdre, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the friends that was coming was going to be a courier from Reverend Mother,
Yes.
or Ariziel,
Mm-hmm.
specifically about curses.
Yes.
They're already on their way, but I would use sending in order to update her with
Okay.
what's going on and offer Brandibus's teleportation abilities if we need to get something now.
All of you, before we speak any further, we're going to the mansion, the magnificent mansion that I have set up. Should be
Okay.
overheard there.
All right, I have private sanctum prepared.
Fine. All right. Do it.
All right. Let's go relax in the mansion.
I'll cast private sanctum. If it's this dark and dank, it might as well not be heard by anyone else, transdimensionally or otherwise.
Is it up?
What does your private sanctum look like after 10 minutes of you casting?
Again, there is, after using some thin, wafer-thin lead, some pieces of quartz, some rough powder, and a well-worn orange silk cloth. Walking about the place, incanting, there is a flash of blue to the space, and then it appears nothing is out of order. Mystically, this is a box in reality. Nothing can see in or listen in. All right. It should be cut off from everything.
All right. So first things first. What you said out there about this shape being a door, that is not uttered again, except to anyone here. What we're going to talk about remains with the four of us. And only the four of us. Do I have your words?
Of course.
All right.
I can make that work.
Okay. So these shapes, I don't know how you're not from here, so you didn't hear rumors or any such, but these shapes, all of them, I had a strange childhood. Since I was 9 till when I was 10 and 6. I would periodically disappear. I would leave the house, disappear, and then reappear some hours, days. The longest was a week in a totally different area. And I didn't know what happened. That time, to me, it's a blank. No one knows. Parents tried to find out where I was. Having a daughter, yeah, just disappear out of nowhere. Doesn't look good. And no matter of them keeping me locked up, Ion stopped any of it. And the words that you said about this thing a door, terrify me, to be honest.
What age did you say you stopped?
16.
You said you started around 9?
Yes.
That's 7. Just keep repeating.
How long ago? Not to ask your age or divulge your age,
Oh,
but
you
how
know,
long ago was that?
you said about last time was about 12 years ago.
Close divisible by 4. Numbers of power, keep repeating. Okay.
16. Did anything change about yourself that you noticed? Was that what your magic affinity began, or?
I mean, that's one idea. Our family isn't particularly gifted in that way. I didn't go to any sort of magic training for it. Just sort of came naturally. I just kept hoping that it was some sort of oddity, something concerning. But it's been so long since any of that happened. I thought I would just put it behind me. No one's gonna know any answers, and I figured look into it every once in a while, but just keep it in the back of your mind. Don't worry about it.
And physically, you were fine whenever you came back.
Perfect health, nothing wrong.
Did your parents ever speak about the day you were born? Or the townsfolk?
No, they weren't too sentimental, so I mean, surely they didn't necessarily treat me any different. I was a bratty child, so the way you treat that, but nothing. I mean, they didn't treat me any differently. They weren't afraid of me. They didn't treat me with any sort of reverence or caution.
About your family.
Yes,
Lots of aunts and uncles, or very few?
a few.
Any one of them go missing?
Not that I can recall.
Any one of them die under strange circumstances?
It would make things easier, but no. But I was hoping this wasn't going to be an issue with this, but if we're going to point any fingers with something, I know you're thinking like somewhere along like, did someone summon something? Am I correct? Make a
Not
pact,
summon.
that sort of thing.
Pacts, possibly, but there are terrible things work in mysterious ways.
My father is a layman, a man popes and appearances, power, that sort of thing. Treated the rest of us like pieces in his little strategy to do what we're doing right now. Duchy, power.
Men of ambition usually is more careful if they're going to do what this is. What this might be. From what you sound like and what I've seen of this place, I don't think your father is up to any sort of supernatural treachery, just the normal amount of noble ambition. This is something else. Javier, if
Yes.
I remember correctly, you have access to legend lore.
I do.
Now may be the time to break that back out. The subject being our good Duchess here.
Makes sense.
There's a mystery at foot, and we need to be able to shut the damn door.
Something had to have started 19 years ago for this to have occurred. Because this didn't happen to your sister or anyone
No.
else in your family.
19 years ago. Why does that ring a bell? What happened 19 years ago?
Great question. What happened 19 years ago?
Can I make a history check? Thank you.
Go right ahead.
Because 19 is 12 plus 7. Numbers of power just keep repeating and I'm going mad. 22.
Nice.
So there are a number of things that happened over a period of time. 15 years ago, you spent a bunch of time banishing some
Yeah.
individuals. However, before that, Avi spent some time hanging out, I believe, in Novigrad?
Yeah.
And then, I believe there was some problems that you discovered.
Well, mostly we cleaned up the
Yes.
mess of a lich in their cult. The academy dealt with most of it, but myself and a contingent from Novigrad went to 7 sites where ritual magics were used to invoke necromantic rites that led to the rise of this lich, and that it was a much bigger deal than what the Academy put in their records.
And I believe, Bandibus, you had some recollection of that small undead problem.
I remember the undead. I didn't remember anything about a lich.
Yes, well, unfortunately, you weren't really informed about the lich. Sorry. Somebody else had to deal with the lich. Not your lich, not your problem. But I also believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Tibian, About 19 years ago, you spent some time in hanging out in Godelda,
I sure
correct?
did. I sure did.
And there were some unfortunate things going on there.
There sure were. There
But-
also was a certain noble person who had just stepped up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's all we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 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 yep. Zombie bushes. That's for.
Yep. Asfred.
I'm sure it doesn't all connect, right? Okay. Well, I share all that information with the class.
Zombie bushes.
Mm-hmm.
It was zombie plants, undead. It was a whole thing. Darius was there for a little bit.
Was there for a little bit of mine. Avi, do you share about the Lich?
Oh, of course.
Did you ever find the phylactery?
The academy supposedly took care of it.
I can tell you right now, the Academy didn't take care of it.
Oh, this suddenly became really, really a lot worse.
And when I was 16, I could figure out that I could raise pets from the dead. No, I did not. That's ridiculous. Undead Lich. Have to deal with me.
There are a number of forms a phylactery can take. The most common is a soul cage. However, there are histories stating that if one had the wherewithal, could tie it to a bloodline. As long as that bloodline exists, so do they.
Theo, could you roll me a history, please?
Okay. Oh boy. 15.
15? You don't remember any Lich. I mean, you were 10 the first time this
I
happened.
remember a Lich. I think most of I remember like.
I think seeing a Lich at 10 years old would have been
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
seeing Norman's mother for the first time at 10 years old. Wouldn't be a thing you'd forget. But what you do recall is you recall the name Darius. You recall someone saying, "Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Do you like animals? My name's Darius. We should be friends, right?"
It should be noted that the evil plants were because of a cult of evil druids that were planting and tending the flower shrouds and the musk creepers, and they had an intent of using victims to sacrifice to some evil god I never got the name of.
God.
Yep, something I didn't get the. No one gave up the name.
So you mentioned Darius before.
He's a friend.
I'm trying to think. At least I thought he was.
I think with someone like that. That's it's hazy, but they were friendly. They talked about liking animals and being friends. Didn't think about that until you all started throwing out ideas, names, stuff like that.
Okay, well, let's just work in hypotheticals. We don't have time for accidental crises. Where does that get us here?
When you go
We
to
have
these precise sites, find what is there. If it's some necromantic resonance, if it's a preponderance of fecundity, say like mushrooms and things of that nature, it'll at least give us an idea of what we're dealing with.
For those of us not so magically inclined, are there any other signs that I could keep an eye out for?
If you find undead or anything that looks like undead in the area, that will tell us it's more aligned with our lich problem. If you find a good bit of carrion, if you find, again, mushrooms, not rings of mushrooms, I doubt you'll find those, that would be fair, but no, mushrooms, vines, slime, that's a very particular kind of necromancy practiced amongst druids. Would implicate one of my closest friends.
And since some of you seem to be close friends, is there any way you could have the star come here or meet with you?
I've tried sending and I've tried discerning his location along with my ours. They both came back with metaphysically inconvenience.
Oh, that's frustrating, certainly.
Yes.
I think it would be in our best interest, your best interest, Vanderbrust, to take a moment to think about anyone else who could be connected with Darius and who it would not be, and warn them.
That's a lot of people to warn. And he was one of the watchers. He was one of us. Pretty much almost every place I went, he went.
Where
Anytime
else
one
would
of them
you
was
want to be?
cleansed. He could be anywhere throughout the empire. He could be anywhere, period. I mean,
It would make more sense as to how certain watchers fell if he were involved.
he loved Ariana like a sister.
I think at this point, we cannot trust any word or action he ever had. I think it's becoming clear that maybe we never knew who Darius was.
I need you to roll me a charisma saving throw, please.
Oh, what?
In here?
And I will inform you, you could choose to fail. It's your turn.
Ooh. Um,
Okay. Did it go through for you?
What did you roll?
oh, me? Have to roll?
Yeah. I need a charisma saving throw from you.
Yeah,
Oh, from me.
Yes.
from you.
From you.
Oh, cool.
You could choose to fail.
You know what? I will say I fail. I want to see what this. I
Well,
wanna
you
see
did
what
fail
this is.
anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Good.
Theo,
Oh.
but the rest, we'll say what everybody else sees for a second. Theo slowly starts walking slightly dazedly away from you all. Not hurrying, not striding, not sashaying or in any way, shape, or form being her usual
Also
draw
probably
attention
not
self.
floating
Yeah.
she'd want to do.
Yeah, not floating. Definitely walking. Kind of meandering even away from you. Theo, you see a memory.
Hmm.
That first point you put on that map. You see a large tree. Bigger than any tree you've ever seen on your property. I mean, you grew up in a Ferentur, an area known for orchards and apples, pears. 10 years old, you climbed so many trees. This one is bigger than them all. You've never seen it before. It rises from your property. And just as you get close to it, something tingles on the back of your neck. And you try to step away. Back. Shimmers just a little bit. And it turns from this big, beautiful holly oak tree. Big, huge oak tree. Many branches, perfect for climbing. And suddenly it's blackened, scarred. Someone who's trying to reach through towards you. And there's suddenly a man there. Tall. A little scraggly looking. Well, the beard is scraggly. He has long hair, braids. Not really a big beard, it's mostly just like stubble, mud. He says something. Not a word you understand, and it's not a language you understand, and whoever is in that tree screeches and it hurts your ears. Pulls back. And the tree disappears. And the man turns to you and says, "Hello, darling. My name's Darius. You want to be friends? You should maybe not be here right now. Right? Let's walk away." And he offers you a hand, but he doesn't touch you. He just offers you the hand.
I think it was right now. I think she will grab it, I think.
And as he takes your hand and starts turning you back, you realize that you're not anywhere near home. You thought you just walked from the house to this tree and maybe a couple 100 yards, but this is far away and it's cold. But there's a path. And he holds a a hand up that's not holding yours, and it glows. And he just says, "We just keep to the path. Very dangerous business stepping outside your door. You never know where your feet might take you. You want to pay attention to where your feet take you, right?"
Yes.
Well, I think we should find ourselves a much more hospitable location. And then you stop. Suddenly, you're awake again, standing in front of that first point you put on that map. There's a small tree there, one that your sister planted. It's not really a tree, it's more of a topiary.
Mm-hmm.
Very artfully shaped. What do the three of you do when Theo?
Is she just wandering aimlessly?
No, she's meandering. Definitely
Meandering?
she seems to be moving with a level of intention, just not striding purposefully.
And not like towards like any leaving the area, essentially.
I mean, she's going
She's
a little ways away from where you currently were, towards, you can tell almost immediately, like a point in the distance, but not leaving the property, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like 100 yards, 200 yards away.
Probably follows,
Yeah.
but doesn't interrupt.
I like walk in front of Theo. Just I'm going probably like 4 or 5 feet ahead of her, just walking backwards, moving my path with wherever she's moving, just making sure I'm always in front of her and just like looking at her face, trying to discern what's happening, but allowing her to, be in her trance or whatever.
I need I need an acrobatics check. I don't know why I'm really asking for this, but you are walking backwards over terrain that you aren't 100% sure of, and you're intentionally staring at her rather than what's going on around you.
Sure. Hold on. Okay. Just reading real quick. It's been a while. 23.
Yeah, you're fine. It's Tibian, it's balance and movement, and it looks effortless. What is Vandebris doing?
He's seeing Javier move. He's going to follow Javier, but right now, his heart's breaking. And he's rather distracted.
So, Theo, when you emerge from your trance, see this topiary that your sister and your friends, what do you say?
I'm in front of there where I would, or in the my memory, this tree was here, right?
Where the tree is right now, this little topiary tree, like this ornamental tree, effectively.
Yeah.
Where that one that your sister planted, and you remember her planting it. In the memory, it was this originally a large oak tree, and then it became a twisted, burnt out shell of the evil trees in Snow White that are trying to grab you, and
I think she's going to, when she's just kind of when you wake up from like sleepwalking, there's kind of like that jolt. But where this little tree is and that frightening tree from her memory, if you're facing her, it's just like a look of rage, and she will scream loud and strong enough just to be like, it's the effect of like a banshee will toward that thing, and she will put enough energy into it that it will just like something large hits it and digs into it. She'll do that for a good like 10 seconds. She'll stop, and then she'll just like fall to her knees, like exhausted, and just like look at it, kind of like in like a daze.
Tibian, while you're screaming, will walk up to you and just grab one of your hands in between hers and just hold it and follow you down as you fall to your knees.
I think you notice too, like her arm is bare, and where you can kind of see like the magic, like tattooing, like silver just kind of like move, kind of like agitatedly, like shifting its pattern.
What happened?
There was a tree there. I think it wanted me to go to it, and he kept me from walking into it, I think.
Ooh.
And she'll give the description of what she saw or who she saw.
That's Darius. He stopped you.
Are you sure?
I think so. I don't remember it much past that, but the tree looked inviting, pleasant, like it was calling out to me, and then as I approached it, it changed to something terrible. And I think he led me away from it. Maybe keeping me safe, I don't know. But it ended the way they always end, with me just appearing in another place on the property and just went on like things always do.
And I'll just look while holding Theo as she explains this, I'll just look past her shoulder up towards Bandibus. And just share a look with them.
That his face is very. This is probably the most confused and crestfallen you've seen him. I don't think he was aiding whatever this is, but he did not tell me about it. He never shared this. Whatever this is, we are going to stop it.
That's where. Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad we're back. I loved every minute of this. I also love all of the speculation and listening to my players and all of these wonderful things. But we're gonna go around, let everybody say who they are, where you can find them online, share all of your good news and things. And I'll do my bit at the end. But thank you again for being here. Thank you for hanging out. I loved every minute of this. So why don't we go in reverse order from the way we started, and why don't we start then with PB? Hey.
Hi. Oh man. Hi, I am PB from PB Plays Inside, where you can find me over on Twitch and Twitter and a bunch of other social media sites. I don't know, take your pick. And I stream Destiny 2 mainly on my Twitch channel. Although I sprinkle some stuff here and there throughout. You could also find me. Nope. Starting February 1st is when the Nillion PB podcast starts up again. We will be starting the third book of the Twilight series. My friend has never read it before, and I have, and I want to share memes with her. And therefore, we have started this journey, and we're up to the third book now. So if that's of any interest to you, make sure to go follow twitch.tv/Nillyline at Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time, I think. And aside from that, you can find me here now on Saturdays playing this amazing game, and I'm very excited. And by golly, did I love your Harvey, Prax? Harvey immediately won me over in like 0.5 seconds.
Yeah. I'm glad. Harvey was a thing that I've been sitting on for a while, and I'm glad that people liked Harvey. Next up, Chris, how you doing? How we have fun tonight?
Of course. My name's Chris Geary. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Geary. You can find me here on Saturdays with the Agapia crew. And Javi is more aware of a plan as to how to combat the curses. So we'll just put it there. He has targets now. So hopefully that helps.
A plan is always half the battle, right?
How can you deviate from the plan if you don't have a plan to begin with?
Exactly. Then you're not deviating from the plan, you're just stumbling around in the dark. And then next up, Lynn. Hello, Lynn. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I loved every minute of this.
I missed this, and I'm so happy to get back in, just right back into it, and just bad stuff for Theo. You think you were so happy with the wedding last season. Now it's like everything's bad. What's happening? Oh no. Maybe this wedding was a bad idea. But we're still gonna do it though. She still wants a really beautiful wedding. That will not stop me. No demon, nothing will stop that. Just saying that right now.
As far as I know, you don't have a monster-in-law, so a demon is next best thing.
Yeah.
That is true.
Both sides of this will have, questionably terrifying, like supernatural stuff. It's great, sharing that. But yeah, I'm Lynn, Gremlin art pretty much everywhere where you can find my art and what I'm doing. And everything's gonna be a little slow starting up, but as we go forward into the new year, things are gonna get very busy. I'll be back here on Saturdays and as well on Modern DM for the new season of Silent Broke New Gods, where we left on a cliffhanger. We are having encounters with our nemesis, all of us. It's great. I can't wait to see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be great. But yeah, catch us there. Man, this has been great. Great to get back into this and play with y'all. Missed it. Missed it over the winter.
Indeed. Thank you for being here. I loved every minute. And go follow Lynn for her fabulous, gorgeous art. Just go follow PB for the entertainment value, and also follow for the podcast, because I have a very great hatred for that series of books, but I still listen to that podcast because it's hilarious and I'm here for it. Also go follow Chris because he does great things. But last but certainly not least, Pope, how you doing? How's life going for you?
There is too much. I must sum up. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. you can catch me here on Saturdays with this amazing cast crew. And then Monday, you'll see this face along with Brax's face over on Wandering DM with some Montreal by Night, along with Trooper as we come back. There's a lot has happened there, and it's a toss-up as to which one has more emotional turmoil, this or that. So if you just want to see me in just riddled with knives, watch both. This was a roller coaster. Whether it was like the Blackthorn motherfucking showing up, like that just, and did like Javi being completely nonplussed, like the to Banderbus's knowledge, the necromancer, like worked motherfucking hard for that title. The necromancer shows up and Javi's just like, yeah.
I mean, you know, to Banderbus's, you know, what Banderbus doesn't know is that Javi was mentored by him.
Again, the slow roll of like, as we're digging into just who Javi is one of the many reasons to come and see this. Pope loves Harvey. Banderbus hates Harvey with every fiber of his abjurer being. We're seeing this amazing lore with Theo that I never knew about, and I'm just here for it. And then Tibian going from this sort of laissez-faire, let's party character to all of a sudden turning on the dime and being the emotional support and heart in this moment is just an absolute delight to see. So there's so much, and I can't wait. Like, as much as I love Monday, is it Saturday yet?
Not yet. But thank you, all my wonderful players, for being here. Thank you, everyone in chat, for being here. I really appreciate it. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. If you've missed out and you came over with... And also, thank you, Awkwardish Panda, for that wonderful raid and bringing your folks over from your community. It was great to have you. I hope you all had fun. And if you liked what you saw and you enjoyed it, hey, I got a YouTube. All the VODs are up there in a very nice little playlist. Makes it easy to find, makes it easy to follow. But I have a bunch of other games. Speaking of other games, Adamani, back here, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you think that this was drama heavy, we are in episode 2 of our last season of Witcher Roads Home, and I'm just going to tell you that the siege is real. The concern should be real. And regardless of what the individuals on the continent think, the unicorns are real.
Not only that, there's sandwiches in the dungeon and there's fornicating in the kitchen.
There was fornicating in the kitchen. It's not currently, but that's a thing. But yes, come over at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern and see one of my greatest joys, which is The Witcher Roads Home. You can also find me on Monday, as Pope said, over on Wandering DM, as I get to play Flory, the best hashtag, not the Ravnos' fault. She is literally not the problem in this situation at all. It is everybody else that's a problem. It's not her. And she may have done a little bit of murder last season. I mean, she was paid to do it. It's what her job is, so she only did a little, not a lot. But we'll see where things happen and come back for that. But you can also find me here. I do random streams, usually either video games when we're having fun, or I've been doing a bunch of chats because I am also a law student. a legal intern and doing a bunch of stuff looking at the OGL. If you want to know my thoughts about it, hashtag not legal advice, and B, the VODs are up on YouTube. Go watch them. And we also there's something new that's kind of coming out. Has a merch store. You can check on that, and there's some interesting things in there, some fun stuff. There's 2 more that will be going up, one of which is tied to the other Mechton campaign, which I will not going to spoil, but I will tell you the other Witcher will be going up is I Survived the Lord Math experience. And if you know anything about this Witcher campaign, that is a statement for some people.
We need a mug.
For sure. They'll be going on a bunch of things. But you also, if you want to help out and support the channel and all of these great stories and things that I run, I have a Ko-Fi, and you can donate to that, and it helps bring art and things. We are getting art for this crew. It is just currently backlogged. It is happening. Artists are great. They just have a timeline, and we're closer to the bottom of the timeline. I'm waiting. But that's everything for me. If you want to know more about me or everything I do, you can follow me online at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, or you can follow me over on Hive at Prax the Bard. Over there, I talk more gamey stuff and a lot of food. You know, I post a lot about the food I cook. So again, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. And if you're over on YouTube, I really appreciate you being over there too and watching on that. We should send some love out into the universe just as we had love come into us. So, Cyberpunk, Cybernation Uncensored are playing tonight. We should go raid them, send them some love and joy. They do a lot of really good things, and they're good peoples. So, again, until next time, everybody. Bye.